Here at the heart of your kitchen, every drop of crystal clean water you serve will be healthy and delicious. Purchase Pure today and help us save lives in Kenya with Pure's innovative water purifying powder. Find out more at purewater.com.
April, which is it, fear or guilt?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. So I think there's definitely a fear in the U.S. about the quality of our drinking water. Certainly, and there's a reasonable fear for it, because if you look at the standards for our water, the drinking standards for our water in the U.S., you'll see that they're behind the times on the World Health Organization by about 13 years. So there is a reasonable fear. Is Pure actually fixing it? Turns out maybe not, but that's a different thing. And there's definitely some guilt, I think, that, they choose a nice country, Kenya. There's no civil strife. There's nothing going on. But, you see the people who are running around who are obviously poor and who do not have good drinking water. So, they're playing on both of these things, right? And they're saying, and by the way, is your water any better than their water out there? Maybe, and maybe it is. And maybe you should pay to make their water a little bit better.
What do you think of this, Charles?
Right. I do see both. I mean, I see it starts off with, this Eden-like, Edenic picture of pleasure, the mother, the dog, everything is plentiful, and so it's almost this perfect setting. And I'm of the mind that as a customer buying water purification system like this, it's kind of a luxury item, isn't it? So I think that they're definitely trying to coax you ahead. And I think that the Kenya stuff, it might be, and I hope this company is involved in really excellent humanitarian aid. I think I'm for that. But what they're doing, though, also is they're trying to, I think, remove a bit of the guilt that you might have in buying a luxury item. By the way, by doing this, you're going to help fight world poverty.
Yeah, I thought in a similar vein that there was a total disconnect between the Kenyan part of the ad and the happy families sitting at home. And basically, I mean, the message is you can have the same water enjoyed by third world countries if you flip it around. And, the whole thing about paying, tap water works. I live off tap water, and they're selling it as a health product. And selling water in the U.S., at least where we have relatively clean tap water, as a health product, I don't know how they can make those claims. Without water, you'll die, but without any water, you'll die. So,
yeah. I mean, to me, this makes me think about the politics of water. I mean, water is not a commodity, it's a right, I think. And this frames it as a commodity, and essentially water has been produced as a commodity over the last 20 years in the US. If you look at the escalation and the rise in consumption, for example, of bottled water over the last 13 years, it's extraordinary. Like, if you look at the statistics, we spend $9.8 billion a year on bottled water in the US, when our tap water is, by every medical measure, as safe as bottled water, right? And by UN estimates, that could actually fund clean water for every third world country.
That's
So,
an
I mean,
amazing fact.
this whole idea that, oh, look, we can help the little brown people in Africa by just doing what we normally do anyway, which is hyper-consume unnecessary products. Without any cost to ourselves, we can help these brown people into the bargain and still lead our pure, wholesome lifestyle without sacrifice. I find that really disingenuous, and that ad angers me.
Can I give you a Nobel Prize now?
You're going to play
Of course I'm going to defend it. Of course, because I think that what it does positively is it does link the happiness of this Caucasian couple, the family, with the wealth. They make this product a world product. And I think that's it's a good goal.
But there's two different products. I mean, essentially the stuff that they're selling for the U.S., the pure water filtering systems, and the powder that they're giving the Kenyans to take the contaminants out of the water. So, I went to the web to find out what exactly was this, and, I was curious. It turns out it's powder that they put in the water, then they stir it up, and it clumps all the contaminants together, and you have to wait for 15 minutes, and then you pour that water through kind of a cheesecloth, so that all the contaminants are kind of clumped out, and then you have to let the water sit another 10 minutes so things settle so that you can drink that water. This is different from what we're getting here. This is not the same thing. The other thing that I found disturbing is that when you do look at their website, they don't tell you anything about what is the percentage.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
is it
They don't.
what you know? Is it based on profits? Is it based on sales? Is it based on what is it based on? And sure, they're giving them. Maybe they're giving some, but I mean, what is the humanitarian aid here? What exactly is it? And maybe they're also charging a premium because now you're feeling a little, your guilt dissuaded, etc. And I don't know. I want to know more facts.
Does anyone else here my age find it a little absurd that we're paying for drinking water in the first
I
place?
find it profoundly
That we're
absurd.
buying water? I mean, I used to dream that beer would be cheaper than water, and the dream has turned into a nightmare. You go into a liquor store, and you compare the cheapest 12-pack of beer and the cheapest 12-pack of water, and you're going to pay $3 less for the beer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always fascinated by the emotions generated in a commercial and by the metaphors. And they said, with pure at the heart of the kitchen. But face it, it's a filter.
Purity, heart.
Isn't it make more sense to say it's more like the kidneys of the kitchen? Okay, time for our exit question. You see an image where the Kenyans are taking water where cattle are standing in their drinking source. Those things don't go together. Name two things that do not go together, Margaret.
Philanthropy and hyperconsumption.
April?
U.S. drinking standards and health.
Charles?
Guilt and recreational drinking of water.
Oil and water in cows.
Handguns and hard liquor. Coming up next, Nissan.
Those are two of the things that go together best, you wuss.
Crossbones.
Science can